What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation, Giants Nation, Cowboys Nation, and whatever the Eagles call their fan base there in Philadelphia? This is the NFC East Roundtable from the couch. We are now a week and some change away from Super Bowl 58, and it ain't a family affair unless all four NFC East teams are on the couch together watching the Super Bowl. Nick representing the New York Giants. New York Giants representing the New York Giants. How we doing right now, Nick?
I'm good. I've been on the couch for a minute here, so we knew the other two were joining us. It was just a matter of when, not
Absolutely.
if.
Absolutely. Me and Nikki have been comfortably seated for quite some time.
Since like Halloween, we've been chilling.
Did y'all bring gummy bears? Where the gummy bears at, bro?
Hey, we definitely need some of those. You know,
man, those are my
the regular kind, not the edible kind, because I can't do all that. That ain't for me. But representing America's team in quotations, we got DMV Fanatic. He just hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Woo! All right.
Hey, I would feel a lot better if my team was better, but we got to see some good football this weekend, so I'm happy about that. Happy to see that and dissect that a little bit. But appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
Hell yeah, we had to do it again to wrap up the season, and I know a lot of the people in the chat wanted to see the downfall of this guy. They wanted to see Chip off his high horse. Welcome back, Philadelphia Eagles fan, Mr. Chip. How we doing tonight, Scott?
I mean, look, it was really good for a while, and then it wasn't. So there's some things, and that's what it's going to be.
You don't even know what the fuck to say.
I don't know what to say because
what can you say? You did exactly what we all thought you were going to do.
Right. I mean, the team looked the way that they were supposed to, and then they didn't.
Oh my God! Remember how much words Chip had earlier in the year?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, he's up here talking all this shit for months, talking all this crap in the chat, and now it's like, oh, well, they were good, and then they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, they had a meltdown of epic historic proportions, and it's something that the last time something happened like that, Rich Kotite was the coach, so. It's amazing how that works.
That's where we're going to start today. We're going to go back. We're going to go Philly. We're going to go Dallas, New York, and then my team. We're going to talk about your season of 2023. You guys started the season 10-1. It only ended up with 11 wins and a first round ouster by Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What exactly went wrong? You guys just hired a new OCDC. Y'all got a whole goddamn coaching staff and Nick Sirianni. What went wrong with the Eagles in 2020?
Yeah, so quite a few things. I mean, so for starters, you mentioned that we had 10 wins. I'm going to be as real as I've been on my show. Not one of those wins was a full 60-minute win. The Eagles, the entire season, did not play a full 60-minute game. There was something weak about the team every step of the way. And then the problem is that once the other teams figured out how to key in on that, I mean, the offense became so absolutely one-dimensional, which is you look at, pass routes, there was no creativity. It's just chuck the ball deep and see what happens, and that's not what's going to work. We abandoned the run game. Every time Swift, got any kind of yardage that was like, we should do, not give the ball to the guy who's being successful. The pass rush, which set a historic number of sacks last year, couldn't all of a sudden get to the quarterback. We once again refused to put any money into the linebacking core, which, believe it or not, is pretty vital for a team to be some sort of successful.
I don't know what a linebacker is, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you guys traded away your whole team. But according to the national broadcast yesterday, Chase Young is an elite player. I would like to bring that up.
He's awful.
Because that made me giggle and LOL. I mean, they went from coordinators who actually found success in the NFL this season as head coaches to guys who weren't being successful because they had never done the job, or maybe they were doing the job and Nick Sirianni didn't allow them to do the job, or the tush push became our only successful offensive play, or a slew of things. But the fact of the matter is it wasn't good enough, and they decided to stop playing at some point in the season, and then just got slapped down by team after team after team. I fully expected them to lose in the playoffs. I didn't think that it was a ploy to all of a sudden have the underdog mentality and us just light it up. It was honestly an extremely frustrating season as an Eagles fan, but I will also tell you it was a mercy killing against Tampa Bay.
It definitely felt like a mercy killing. I definitely have a few questions about the Philadelphia Eagles. Anybody else from our esteemed panel want to chime in on the Eagles' downfall this year? Take it away if you have words. DMV Nikki, talk to me.
I got one thing. The thing that makes it even better is the fact that y'all got Kellen Moore. Like, that shit is funny to me, bro. I'm done here.
It's fucking funny. It is funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, there were a lot of available coordinators. And here's the thing. I'm not necessarily even against Kellen Moore simply because of what we rolled out the last 2 months of the season. Like, Kellen Moore himself is an upgrade compared to what Brian Johnson was calling. So I'm at the situation where it can't be worse than what we did the last 2 months.
It could be worse.
Brian Johnson sucks, though. Like, Kellen Moore is better than Brian Johnson.
That's kind of my point. And the fact that Brian Johnson is getting, head coaching interviews makes me think that they really are taking the Rooney Rule very seriously, because watching that offense, there is no way Brian Johnson should still be a coach in the NFL, let alone a head coach.
For those who don't know, Brian Johnson is 36-year-old Eric Bieniemy. He's 36-year-old Eric Bieniemy. They run the same stupid ass, it doesn't make sense style of offense, and people actually defend them. Like, what are we doing? Like, Brian Johnson shouldn't be getting head coaching interview. We're not even sure he's an NFL play caller. Same thing with Eric Bieniemy. It's clear he was never calling the plays in Kansas City. He was holding Andy Reid's playbook, and he was there for morale and coordination purposes, because there's a lot on the plate of the head coach. Nikki, anything you'd like to chime in on about your second favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles?
Oh, yeah, I love this team. No, I do have a real serious question, though. Chip, is it a Jalen Hurts problem?
So for me, I'm not sure yet, because if you looked at when Nick Sirianni came in, he kind of corrected Jalen Hurts from the ground up, and he came flat out in the press and said, we got to fix the footwork and we got to build the ground up. And then you had an esteemed play caller in Shane Steichen doing the right things and actually helping. They were committed to the run game, so the play action was a legit thing. Jalen Hurts is not a drop back 7-step guy and throw the ball 75 yards down the field on a go route kind of quarterback. That's not what he does. When he hits the quick slants, he's there. If it's one read, two reads, he's there. I think that Jalen Hurts took a massive step back as a quarterback, but he took steps forward as a leader, which is great, but now he's got to get someone in there to clean it up again.
See, the thing with Jalen Hurts and his leadership, like, when we're going through some shit together, sometimes we need to feel it. Sometimes we need to go through that shit together. Stop saying cliches and platitudes and our greatest fear is not that we're incompetent. Like, don't start with that Coach Carter soliloquy shit when things are going bad. You don't have to look like Mr. Perfect all the time. You be human. That's what the problem with Russell Wilson. The world loved Russell Wilson until they didn't, because he was too fucking perfect all the time. Be human. Allow yourself to be human, Jalen.
And that was kind of the thing. Like, look, Jalen Hurts is an incredible leader, but how many more times can they just keep saying, well, we got things we got to clean up, and then never clean them up? We got things we got to clean up. Again, our best offensive weapon was a 1-yard quarterback sneak.
That shit unstoppable, though.
It was unstoppable, but the fact of the matter is that what kind of creativity and play calling? So I'm not sure if it's a play calling situation. I'm not sure if it was a creativity situation. I'm not sure if it was a predictability situation. We're just not sure. We ended up getting more questions as the year went on because nothing changed, which is the literal definition of insanity.
Yeah, man. Jalen definitely took a step back in his development this year. He got the bag, got his 260 plus
and that's
million.
Great.
Yep, he got the bag. Now it's time for him to earn that contract. We just saw what happened there. We saw Lamar in the biggest game of his life after getting paid. You hate this. I hate the timing of guys regressing. Well, Lamar won MVP, so he didn't regress.
Like, Lamar had a great year. I mean,
he did. He's going to win the MVP.
It was a good game. They lost to the better team. They lost to a better team, in my
So
opinion.
are you worried going forward about Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, or is it still business as usual? You expect MVP candidate franchise quarterback going forward?
It's business as usual. He is the franchise quarterback. I mean, again, if you look at the beginning of the season with the way A.J. Brown was playing, I mean, Jalen Hurts was an MVP caliber player until he wasn't. They got to clean up the turnovers. But again, he's a phenomenal leader. He is an absolute weapon on the field. They just actually have to use the weapon right.
I was praying that y'all hired Ron Rivera as your defensive coordinator, but unfortunately, y'all knocked it out the park with Vic Fangio. Seems like y'all had a little backdoor deal and some tampering done, because that seemed like that was done under the table. Vic Fangio, what went wrong with Sean Desai? Was he just incompetent?
You ended up having players. So it's, again, you had, when CJ Gardner-Johnson went to the Lions, you had to pivot and sign James Bradberry. And Nikki knows all about how crap James Bradberry is, because he never should have been signed to a long-term deal. So now you have two corners over the age of 30. You have nothing invested in your linebacking core. And you look at some of the linebackers that have left, and they're all doing pretty damn well. And then you stop getting pushed. You even look at a guy like Derek Barnett on the line, who we traded for peanuts, and he had a decent end of the season over with the Texans. So it was a lot of the scheme. It was a lot of the Jim. It wasn't the Jim Johnson. It was the Jim Schwartz play way off the line and see what happens. And we can't tackle for shit. So because of all those things, we got picked apart by better teams. And then they ran it down our throat. And like the fact that the Cardinals beat the hell out of us, they ran it down our throat, and there was nothing we could do about it. And by that point in the season, we were exhausted and playing like garbage, and it was just quicksand. We couldn't get out of it.
And speaking of the Cardinals, I am forever grateful for the Arizona Cardinals, because that game clinched Washington the second overall pick in the NFL.
Where you will get Drake May and blow another pick on the quarterback.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that later. We're going to talk about my quarterback situation. Things are looking bright on this
That's
side,
my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
I know, man. But one word as we close on Philadelphia's 2023, what's your one word to describe y'all season?
Failure.
Failure?
It was an absolute failure. I mean, the fact of what we were going for, and the fact that we couldn't put together a full 60-minute game plan, absolute failure of a season.
I agree. I just need your fans. I need your city to learn how to temper yourselves. The coach don't need to get fired just because y'all had one shaky season.
Thank you.
Y'all had a Super Bowl within arm's reach last year. Why are we talking about firing the coach? Because, oh my God, we had 11-5 and we went out in the first.
Yeah, so that's something that I definitely have to bring up, because I do not feel that Nick Sirianni should have gotten fired. Now, I can understand that, having a meltdown of that kind of epic proportions and not even being able to put a team on the field that was any kind of quality is a problem. Now, what I have been saying all along as we brought in, these coordinators, is you need to bring in a guy with head coaching experience or head coaching aspirations, because if the Eagles start off next season and in the first 6-7 weeks still can't put together a quality product, then the issue is Sirianni, and he should be a midseason fire.
Damn, but yeah, just Philadelphia fans, just figure it out, bro. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear.
Calm down. They need to calm down a little bit.
Y'all aren't in poverty. Y'all are spoiled. Y'all have a great front office. Y'all have had a great run. Y'all put together an amazing roster. It didn't happen for you this year. Learn how to deal with it. Let's talk about your team, Nikki, and then we're gonna bounce over to the Mickey Mouse America's team known as Dallas. Nikki, 6 wins this year. You had a Sopranos character take your team from an unnecessary Linsanity run and play yourself out of the top couple picks in the draft. And Wink Martindale had to quit his job and resign before he had to put hands on Brian Dable. Talk to me about the 2023 New York Giants.
Yeah, it's fight, bro. I'd have paid for that.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, mess. Absolute mess. And I think, I've said all season, I think the big issue was making the playoffs last season, and we shouldn't have been there, right? We were playing with house money, but that should have been this year. What happened this year should have been what happened last season. Daniel Jones goes down. Tyrod Taylor's down. We got Tommy DeVito out there. We got his agent looking like I don't even know. I mean, it was like it's just camp. They just leaned into it. The family's out there smoking cigars. Like, I mean, I had fun with the content and stuff. Yeah. But like,
He literally set the Italian families back 20 generations by literally playing into every stereotype.
Tommy
The agent had to be a paid actor, bro. Had to.
Oh my God.
The agent is a criminal. I'm sorry.
No,
bro.
the agent is brilliant. Hold on. The agent is brilliant because he literally read the room and went, you know what I'm going to do? I am literally going to play up this whole Italian mafia thing, and I'm going to book so many clients because of it.
I know a consigliere when I see one, but Nikki, continue.
He did fire him though. He did fire him.
I'm praying for Jackie Jr. now because he don't seem like a guy you could fire, and it's just that.
Yeah.
He made him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, you know what, kind of like thank God for it because the season was so miserable. You had to like laugh at something. It was a shame. Couldn't really see Jalen Hyatt get in the mix too much because of the bad quarterback play. It took a good 8-9 weeks for that offensive line to kind of somewhat come together. But I think when Tyrod was in, he was moving the offense a lot better than Daniel Jones was. And then there was coaching dysfunction, right? And I got this so much. Nikki, did you think there was anything to it with the dysfunction? Do you think Brian Dable's a hothead? Do you think he's got a temper? Yeah, you know why? Because he comes to the podium every day and look pissed as hell that he had to talk to us, and he would just be so aggravated. Now we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and I know the New York media can ask really stupid questions, so I would be agitated too, but I think that, there's some truth there. I've seen him lose it on the sideline. You get really agitated, heated in person. I think he was a hothead. And there's obviously tension between he and Wink. And I remember when Wink was in Baltimore and there was point of contention there. So it seems to be somewhat maybe of a pattern, but this season was just, I just could not wait for it to be completely over. It was horrible. It was so bad.
Yeah, who you think win that fight between Wink and Dayball?
Wink probably. Wink's a crazy motherfucker. You see him in person ever? Like he give you that look, and you're just like, all right, cool.
He got a hell of a head, but
Wink looks like the final boss of a video game. Like he looks like
he's the Tyson knockout final boss.
Like shit, he looks like someone you don't want to fuck with. He's someone I'm interested in once we get our head coaching situation figured out at the defensive coordinator spot.
Yeah, he was my number one pick for defensive coordinator. I wanted Wink.
I thought he was going to you guys. I was like, I bet he's gonna go to Philly
with Fangio. Like what? That shit pissed me off. Y'all are still in the conversation for defensive coordinator, right, Nikki?
Yep.
Who y'all? Who's the favorite? Who are the main candidates right now?
Ron.
I know the Baltimore guy. The Baltimore.
Baltimore. He went for his second one, so we'll see. Second interview. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Hot take. I almost don't really care who they hire as long as you can get the job done. I really don't care. I mean, I get this constantly. Oh, they're interviewing this one. They're interviewing that one. Like, yeah, I know, but I mean, just get the job done. If you're fit for the culture and you can coach this team up, please do that. Bobby Johnson, offensive line coach, was let go. Thank God. I just can't watch it anymore. I couldn't watch it. Special teams coordinator finally was let go. I just, you know what? I know the Giants and it's always, they're a respected organization, and they are, but I think sometimes they're almost too loyal to these coaches to a fault, where you're just watching some of these units on this team and you're like, oh my God, like it's been 7 years that special teams has been horrible. How much longer are you going to have the job? The NFL is the only place where you can suck at your job, turn around and get another one the next day.
Long as you know somebody.
Yeah, that and a meteorologist. That's okay too.
I was going to say that.
I'd be a great weather girl. Well, today in the New Jersey area, it is January. You may get 1 to 5 inches of snow and a 50% chance.
Easy.
That's what you say.
Easy work. And you mentioned that the Giants, people respect the way they do business. I seen a report that said Bill Belichick is telling people league wide that y'all don't know how to do business and that y'all culture is fucked up there. Is there any truth to that? Because I seen people trying to put early rumblings in that Bill could come and coach y'all next year if y'all fire Daboll. What's to say about that?
Yeah, so that came from Jordan Run-On, who likes to run his mouth and step on my shoes. But it literally stepped on my brand new shoes.
Oh man.
Fucking guy.
Wink Martindale him.
Yeah, why would stick Wink Martindale on him? Bill Belichick was a Wellington Mara guy, not a John Mara, Steve Tisch guy. So there's probably something to it. But who knows for sure. I don't know if they fire Brian. Listen, year 3 is make it or break it for Brian Daboll. I get it. But I'm not like clamoring for Bill Belichick to come because I do think he would clash.
I don't know if he gets a job this year. Honestly.
Go do TV, GOAT. Your resume is too fire for you to be out here begging people for work. Go do TV and
I don't want to watch Bill Belichick on TV.
He's dry as hell. He is super dry.
He literally refused to get a Madden coach likeness of him the entire time that Madden has been a franchise. I don't want to see him on TV.
No, I don't want. No, he's the worst. Could you imagine him on TV?
No, he'd still wear his sweatshirt.
My man got a sweat hood poncho. Like,
I know.
Yeah, but you know what it would be though? The cords would be his tie.
Yeah,
he'd wear that like bolo tie.
Oh, yeah, Philip Rivers style.
Oh,
but all right. So wait. So my question is because I'm going to ask everybody this. I mean, Rio, obviously, you're the only team that the coach got canned, but should Daboll have gotten the axe this year for what he put on the field?
No, I don't think so. I think you had one great year where you overachieved. You had one horrible year where everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. So I think you got to even it out. Take the sum of year 3, right? And let's see what happens. Yeah, I just, now that they'll have a new offensive line coach in there, like I said, special teams having new coach in there. I mean, maybe there was a lot more friction with Wink and the defensive side of the ball than we were privy to. So get some new, fresh blood in there. I mean, that might help. But if he goes out and has another horrible season like this, then yeah, I'm sure that he's going to be done in New York.
And then my other question, because again, I remember a certain very Augusty night where you told us all sitting in these square boxes that Daniel Jones was worth the money that you paid him.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask if Daniel Jones
I don't know. He didn't
season,
finish the season.
Rod Taylor's not the guy. Tommy DeVito's not the guy. Is Daniel
Tommy
Jones
DeVito
still
is
your
not
guy?
the guy.
Listen,
DeVito.
He had the most success out of all your quarterbacks this year. So
I know he is not the guy. Absolutely not the guy.
$40 million a year man. He looked better than him when Daniel Jones did play. Other than getting his brains beat in because the line stink.
The line was horrible.
He didn't look good at all.
He was getting sacked, 8 times a game, and it's like, how do you? And I know he was seeing ghosts. He wasn't seeing the field. I never said Daniel Jones was the guy. My whole point with the contract was that was like the going market rate, and that's where you walk away. I've never been in love with the guy, but I wish you could evaluate him on a team like where he had a full season and the line was functioning. It's a shame. So I feel like there's still an element where you're just not really sure, and that's kind of the point. You're still not sure. We're all these years in, so Joe Shane did say either way, they will address this quarterback situation, whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft. Everybody, please understand, Daniel Jones will be here next season. Okay. I need you all to understand contracts and how they work. He will be here. Whether he plays the whole season, I don't know, but he will be here. I don't know if Saquon. I don't think Saquon's going to be here, though.
Yeah, I can't see him.
So
no, I think he's done.
What is your ideal solution to the quarterback position? Because it can't be Daniel Jones is the guy.
No, he's not the guy. Listen, they're gonna have to go find their guy because he's not it. And maybe he's in this draft. If this your guy, go get your guy. And hopefully it works out. Hopefully it pans out. So everybody was so quick to run Eli out of town. And towards the end of his career, rightfully so, it was time to retire. But no, you don't know how good you have it sometimes until you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, and I just think that we kind of been touching on the fact that Daboll is on a make it or break it year. Now we're saying that Daniel Jones is the guy that he's got to put all his faith in, because I don't see this Giants team going out and drafting a quarterback this year, because if Dable doesn't succeed, then you're kind of stuck with the situation of, okay, well, is the new coach coming in, is this new quarterback that they drafted the guy? I can see them getting a veteran to kind of do some backing up. But I think that you're rolling deep with Daniel Jones here and seeing what happens.
Hey, DMV, you got anything for Nikki before we move on to your team?
No, not really. I mean, I kind of knew that the Giants would. Well, to be honest with you, I thought they were going to win the division because of the third place schedule. I didn't expect them to crumble like that, but Daniel Jones, I kind of knew that about him, but I expected more from the coaching staff. I thought the coaching staff was a lot better, suited to overcome a lot of that stuff, and it just didn't pan out that way this year. And I don't have any questions for Nikki.
Yeah, I don't have any questions for her. No, but he raises a good point. I mean, they had issues with play calling. It was Kafka, it was Dable. He's taking it back. Then he's calling the play. Then he's doing it. And it was just a lot of friction, I think, within the coaching staff. So hopefully they get it worked out this offseason, and we have a much better season in 2024. I
think you guys' first round pick, don't think hard about it. I know you like to check into the Hyatt, but Hyatt is going to be a mid receiver. Hyatt has a dirt route tree. He has speed, but he has a dirt route tree. Draft Malik Neighbors from LSU or Roma Dunze. Give Daniel Jones a legit number one receiver.
We do need a legit number one. I'm with you. We have not had a number one.
Maybe Bo Nix or McCarthy or Michael Penix, who got 7,000 injuries in college, last to the second round, and you can have fun with that experiment.
I mean, by the time that Penix gets to there, he can be the QB coach because he's 104 years old already.
Him and Bo Nix combined should have great grandchildren by now, because they started their college careers in 2018. We're in 2024, yo. That's fucking crazy.
Oh God, thought I was old.
So yeah, y'all have fun with that. But let's move on to America's team.
Yes.
Mr. subscribers, DMV fanatic, fan of the once again 12-5 Dallas Cowboys. They won the division, meaning no one has repeat since Donovan McNabb and his mother was doing chunky soup commercials. They got in the playoffs with expectations and got their ass handed to them by the youngest team in the league. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers put 48 on your head tops. Despite the fact
three quarters though, like they let off the gas.
Despite the fact that there are 2 Defensive Player of the Year candidates, a top 5 unit, defend them. What's going on with y'all, man?
I can't defend these. I can't defend them. I can't defend what happened out there. My post game rant was probably one of the legendary ones. I called everybody punks. I called the coaches bitches. I called the players punks. I called everybody a punk. Called Micah a punk. Called Dak a punk. Called everybody out. And I was expecting a firefight amongst us, because we in the chat we had the other day we had a good one. It was pretty good roast. But after I watched yesterday's football, I'm like, oh yeah, hell no. We ain't even close to their level.
It's a different sport. Right. It's a different sport than what this division be putting out there.
It's everybody doing their job cohesively.
Yes. Which this division can't seem to do. I don't understand.
What are we paying our staffs to do? Because that shit don't look nothing like the shit I watched on Championship Sunday yesterday.
I know. Why? Why is it such a struggle at life, this division?
Because we all kick the crap out of each other first. We literally, I think what it is we build rosters, and then DMV, I mean, obviously back to your, we build rosters to get through each other, but not to compete the rest of the way.
Chip took my point. Absolutely. I was going to say, we're built to master the division, but outside of it, we don't know how to handle anything outside of it, especially if it's a team that's going to run at us. That's a problem for Dan Quinn and that new scheme that hey, let me play 6 DBs all the time scheme. Yeah, hell no, man. Look, I was hoping that one of these dumbass teams out here was going to hire him, but I
think Seattle still might.
Nah, hell no. Hell no.
That'd be stupid. Like, you get the 17-year-old more upside 17-year younger, more upside version of him that's down in Baltimore. But Dak Prescott, You know, he's a rich man. He's going to get richer this offseason coming up. Once again, he's not getting it done when y'all need him to get it done. I mean, the defense did give up 48. I mean, he threw
they gave up 41.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That contributed to the points that were put up on the team. Why is he a different guy when the lights come on?
You know what? I saw in the first quarter when it was 7-0, I saw that glaze go over his eyes that went over in the 49ers game. And I said, oh, shit.
It's one of them days.
Yeah, I knew exactly why. In my mind, I knew exactly why CD was going off the way he was going off. It's the same way that Amari was going off, the way Amari was going off, the same way when in his rookie year, Dez was going off the same way he was. They know some things about him when he gets in those moments that we don't know. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of things in the building. I'm not just going to blame him per se. I'm just saying he gets that glazed over look, and they want to continue to win that way. They want the quarterback, because they did the same thing with Romo, and they refuse to build around him. Like, we might have a talented person here and there, but cohesive as a unit, they refuse to load the clip up for that offense. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole bunch of, like, I know Nikki talked about it before. She said, you have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talent in it's spotty talent. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, if you look at the football that we just watched this weekend, there's no weaknesses on anybody's roster. You know what I'm saying? It's not hollow. Right. We've had a hollow roster for a long time, especially up front. Not on the offensive side of the ball, but on defense. And, I mean, for me, I know Dak, he's slated to make $60 million this year, but they can restructure. You got 2 voidable years that people don't really talk about. But I'm all for loading the clip and building it for the next quarterback, and that makes it better for him. That's where I'm at right now. Do I have faith that he can go out, throw the ball 50 times when things are going bad and win us a game? No, I don't believe that, but I do believe if they somehow get their head out of their ass, the front office, that we can't win this way, then maybe we could put something together. But we're still far away apart, because I looked at Baltimore and they lost yesterday, and I'm just like, we ain't close to that. We're nowhere close.
So are you trying to start over there in Dallas? Is that what you're saying?
We can't start over with how the contracts are. And honestly, if by keeping McCarthy, you can't get another coach, and you can't get another defensive coordinator in here for real. You have to hire within, because who's coming here for 1 year? You know?
Well, and that was my question, DMV. I mean, the same thing I asked before. I mean, were you surprised that McCarthy wasn't fired, and was it only because he had 1 year left?
I'm not opposed. So I'm either or, because I believe it's the organization. I don't think to me, it doesn't matter who the hell comes in here and coaches, as long as you got somebody that's undercutting the coaches.
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones
who almost sold his soul for Johnny Manziel to be his quarterback.
I wish.
Let's remember that.
Almost, and he didn't even have to sell his soul, because Johnny was gonna fall right to him.
Yeah.
Thank God somebody said, "Yeah, hell no, we getting Zach Martin." That was probably the smartest thing we've done in his tenure, without Jimmy, at least. That's probably the smartest thing.
How does the future get brighter for the Cowboys? How do you guys overcome always getting to the playoffs, over-promising and under-delivering? How do you guys finally take that step and at least get an appearance in the conference championship game?
You know what, Rio? Jerry Jones just went on the radio probably like yesterday and said something along the lines of, this is your GM too, because it's owner and GM. Said something along the lines of, it's his job to get people to continue to talk about the Cowboys. What, bro? As the GM, it's your job to put out the best football team.
So he's a publicist. He's a publicist now.
Yeah. Yes. It's your job to bring home a trophy as the GM portion. Like, the GM and the owner, like that they can't have the same goals, you know? No. So I don't know what we're going to have to do for the future, but it probably doesn't involve him. That's all I'll say with that.
So what are you going to do with Dak? So y'all are going to restructure his contract this year, and how much longer does Mike McCarthy have? 1 more year to prove it, and then starting over?
Yeah, he's got one more year. You know how that normally goes when you're not renewed.
Lame duck
You got
coach.
1 year,
Yep.
you're normally gone. You know,
Yep.
that's normally how it goes. And I think with the two, I don't know if they ride out this Dak $60 million thing or if they restructure. I think they're going to restructure. But Dak did a smart thing in his last negotiation. He put a no trade clause in there for himself, so he can kind of control his own destiny.
Yep.
So I think that we probably look at a restructure because they can push that button at any time. But yeah, that's what I think happens. If he does do a deal, they're probably trying to win the deal. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to win the offseason. They're trying to win negotiations. They're trying to win the profit margin. They don't give a damn about winning games, bro. Like,
Yeah, you look at like the McCarthy thing, and part of the reason why they didn't fire him is because they didn't want to have to be on the hook to pay 2 coaches.
Yep.
you know, Mike McCarthy is the second lowest paid coach in the NFL.
And still, they wouldn't pay 2 coaches.
I mean, if you think about it, if you really think about it, now we make fun of him. He gets a lot of publicity for being the Cowboys coach, but we're getting a lot of bang for the buck for the second lowest paid coach. I mean,
That's
Mike
true.
Tomlin's making $12.5 million. Mike McCarthy's making $4 million.
Mr. 500, yep.
Oh,
So for them, for them, business wise, that's a great investment.
Sure
Standard on
is.
business.
is it though?
Literally.
Because he's not.
But
He's
winning,
not-
but
You're
winning
winning,
isn't their
but you're not.
winning isn't their overall goal, Nikki. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Their goal is let's keep these books straight.
It's the brand. For the
Yeah,
brand.
it's the brand,
Hashtag
yeah.
for the
Yeah,
brand.
sure.
They are NFL Apple, NFL Disney. They have to keep the boat going. They have to keep people
For
showing up
sure,
to the theater.
Absolutely.
Well, can
Yep.
you tell your fan base that? Because I'm sick of this every year. Them
It's our
telling
year.
me,
I've been
guys,
They
it's
don't-
our
I've been
year.
telling them that.
We're winning the Super Bowl. We have the most talent in the NFC. We got the most talent in the division. We're winning it. I mean,
Well, and the thing is that
They
the
do.
Cowboys
God,
are a talented roster,
they
Very.
are.
but they are, and it's the same way like the Eagles had an exceptionally talented roster, but they were not coached in either team was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
coached in a way to maximize the
Yeah.
skill sets of either team.
I agree. I agree with that. And I feel like Dallas has all the ingredients to make a great meal, but always finds a way to fuck it up. Like like you said,
Always.
winning is not the priority over there, and that's clear. And Jerry Jones is going to forever own that. That team's going to be in the hands of the Joneses forever. So how do you escape that and
I
overcome?
don't think you do. How do you escape it then?
It's quicksand. You're stuck.
No, we gotta
Yeah.
hope that Jerry's grandson just says, "Man, F with granddad."
Yeah,
We're
right?
talking about-
Or sell it. Or sell that motherfucker. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, it's shit. You guys are waiting on the grandson. Death, taxes, and the Cowboys choking in the playoffs. That's
Absolutely.
That's what you count on.
It's an annual tradition like no
my
other.
favorite pastime.
Anything else y'all got on the Cowboys?
My big question for you is because when McCarthy took over, I was actually excited a little bit to see what Tony Pollard was going to do. He's going to be somewhere else, isn't he?
More than likely, he's a free
Yep, he's
agent.
Yeah.
But then again, you never know because the running back market has gone to trash. You know what I'm saying? So they probably pay him $5 million to come back. But in all honesty, I want another back and I want another veteran to come in here. Like for me, I'm tired of these loser ass players. Like I hate to say it, but you know, we have no championship DNA on our team besides Stephon Gilmore, and I think Brandon Cooks went to one. But outside of that, I mean, our coaches have won Super Bowls, but I mean, Dan Quinn won one. Mike McCarthy won one. Al Harris was on the Super Bowl roster, but outside of that, nobody knows what it's like to really go through a deep playoff run. You got the blind leading the blind. So at this point, bringing Tony Pollard back for what? He ain't got no championship DNA. He hasn't even gotten out of the divisional round.
Yeah, and I think that they, again, talking about grossly underusing, like when it was between him and Zeke, like there was no question that Pollard was the change of pace back and the better back.
Right.
And then they got rid of Zeke. Zeke actually had some success for one of the worst teams I have ever seen in the Patriots, and they've completely forgot to use Tony Pollard down in Dallas.
Well, I will say this. Tony I never thought he was the better back. I thought he was the playmaker. I thought Zeke took a lot off his plate. And without Zeke this year, you saw that, and we felt it. Damn. I really wish we would have had an opportunity to keep Zeke, but Tony, if you remember last year, he broke his leg against the 49ers. He was getting busy in that game. He was getting busy. They used him in the playoffs. They were using him right, and that's just the luck that goes with being a Cowboy. And now we'll never know, But he had a cool little run.
Definitely had a cool little run over there. So, what's the shiny new toy? What's the quick fix Jerry's gonna try to sell to the fans and make y'all think, here we go, we got what we need, we got the missing piece? What's the one thing y'all are gonna do this offseason to try to sell fans on? It's gonna change next year.
I don't think. I mean, it's obviously not going to be in free agency because they don't believe in that. But I think that they're going to try. They're going to try and court Derrick Henry. That's what I think is going to happen. And he's obviously going to use the Cowboys and sign somewhere else, like everybody else does. So I don't know if there's a shiny new toy, but in the draft they're going to have to make a splash. I think. I don't know what you could do if you bring back this whole coaching staff. I don't know what you can bring back that's a shiny new toy that's going to make everybody feel good about it.
What about an old toy? They're going to bring back Dalton Schultz?
Hell no. Jake Ferguson's man.
Ferguson's a dog.
He ended up turning it on a little bit. That was good. And actually, it was funny because I thought that they got worse at the position when Schultz went away. And for when he got his opportunity, Ferguson was halfway decent. But I think that they're going to need – I don't feel like any team in the NFL is successful when you throw the ball 50 times. I just don't. Yeah. I think you need to balance a little bit. And I don't think that's what the Cowboys' DNA is. And I think that they need to cut that crap out.
Yeah, facts. Right. That's where I'm at. I'm team running back. I'm team. Hey, I'm trying to run the ball and play defense. I need linebacker and running back. Those are positions that.
Well, linebackers go to the Eagles first. Thank you, sir.
Well,
I don't even know what a linebacker is. I would love to know.
We don't know what a linebacker is either because Howie doesn't believe in them.
Ron Rivera and Jack played linebacker and ignored the fucking position for 4 years. So please.
That's why the division sucks because our linebackers, everybody's linebackers suck.
Everybody's linebackers suck.
Please hire Ron Rivera, DMV.
Yeah, I love Sugar Daddy's last comment. There's your shiny new toy. He's been sitting on the bench all offseason. Yeah. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Oh, talk to me about Trey Lance. Has he developed it?
But I was saying, you said for next year. Like, I feel like he's a shiny new toy. Like after, well, we don't have Dak, but we got Trey Lance.
He's that aftermarket Dak.
Has he developed it all? Have you got an update about him?
No, bro. We don't know anything. Like for the one update I got is that Trey Lance really, when he first got there, I heard that Shanahan and them did a real disservice to that kid because he couldn't even do quarterback drills. That's what I heard. Lord. And so look, the same day that the tweets went out about CeeDee Lamb's mom going off, you see Trey Lance throw a 50-yard hanging ass corner route, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. The best cadence in the league, man. Here we go. Oh, man. Trey Lance was a red flag when I seen that he was 21 with a receding, balding hairline. Like, that was a red flag for me, man. Like, come on, bro. Like,
he was a red flag when I saw North Dakota State.
Yeah, I know he was.
As an Eagles fan, North Dakota State was my red flag.
Bison. The Bison.
Yeah. But I do want to say something, though, real fast, though. We lost to the Packers, but that Jordan Love might be special, bro.
No, that's what they do there. That they just have generational quarterback after generational quarterback.
He's what Trey Lance was supposed to be.
100%.
Yep.
100%. And he got to grow into it because they have Hall of Fame quarterbacks and can just draft a quarterback unnecessarily to the whole world. But they're like, the best time to draft a quarterback is when you don't need one.
And start a whole mess of drama. Like, do you remember when they drafted him? Like, Aaron Rodgers was like, I guess I'm done being a Packer. Ended up playing there a whole mess more seasons to the point where Jordan Love was about to go, either I'm going to be the quarterback or I'm going to leave. And then they go, all right, goodbye, Aaron Rodgers, who lasted less time in a Jets uniform than this podcast has been on the air.
He ran more yards with the flag than he did on the football field that year, man. He came out with the flag and was out before the game. Like, oh my God.
Oh my God. So sad. Well, Max is right. I'll give Max credit here in the chat. Out of all of us, the Giants do have the best linebacker play, I would say. Okereke had a great year. McFadden's coming along nicely. And yeah, Simmons, I think could be great, but to his point, yeah, too inconsistent. But again, he didn't get a chance to shine that much. So,
and they're only going to get better losing Wink Martindale.
You gotta love it. And to wrap up the NFC East's 2023 season, my stink ass Commanders. But like let me put it. This season was about vindication. This season we got a larger than life black cloud that hung over this organization for 25 years out of here. Possibly the worst owner in the history of professional sports. Like, I have stories for days, and I'm sure there will be hundreds and hundreds of stories that come out over the years about how fucking ridiculous this guy was.
First they say, hold my beer, bro.
Yeah, but Irsay do a little drugs, but he's not
Dolan. I mean, come on, he's pretty good.
Irsay do a little cocaine, but he not Dan. Dan said, "Don't look in my eyes." Dan made everybody call him Mr. Snyder. Couldn't look at his eyes. Dan melted ice cream in the offensive coordinator's offense because he said the lineup was too vanilla.
Dan got investigated and got other coaches fired from other organizations.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Found a picture of Jerry at a fucking
at a desegregation rally. Dan is a fucking HBO supervillain.
I'm waiting for that 60 for 60.
Where's that 30 for 30? When's that one coming?
No, I need a 60 for 60 for that one.
Oh, Dan, I need a 10-part, 10-hour Netflix Dan Snyder's reign in DC.
Can it be called The Last Lap Dance?
I'm talking, we passed around. Dan Snyder was passing around cheerleaders, outtakes, and nudes from photo shoots. He made a male consultant dance and wave pom-poms in front of everybody and made fun of him for being a cheerleader back in high school. Like, he stepped off the boat and told the whole scouting department, fuck your draft board, draft Dwayne Haskins because he went to Bullets with my son. Like, it goes for on and
he made Vince McMahon look like a priest.
I was gonna say, like, compared to Vince McMahon, child's play, Vince. God.
I knew he was finally cooked when his name was implicated on some of the sexual improprieties and misconduct that took place around Ashburn. He apparently tried to pimp out one of the female employees to one of his doctor friends at a charity event, and then tried to sneak into a limo with a. Oh my!
Innocent.
Oh man!
This is the owner of a professional football team.
Rio.
Yeah.
But Rio, even with all that, he still flipped the team and he still won.
$6 billion. He probably gonna lose half of it in lawsuits because he's been ducking subpoenas for 5 years now. He's been ducking subpoenas. He gonna probably enjoy $4 billion of that $6 billion because he's gonna have a lot of legal fees to pay and he's gonna be doing a lot of traveling. But all that being said, there was no way we were ever going to succeed with him, and I'm kind of glad we never did. I didn't want him to ever feel success. I didn't ever want to see that little bastard holding a Super Bowl trophy. I probably would have thrown up. It probably would have took some of my enjoyment away if he succeeded here. We didn't have a shot. He took over one of the more respected and heralded franchises in NFL history, and we've been ass and a half for 25 years. So this year was about getting the last fragments, remnants, and stragglers from the Dan Snyder fingerprints out of our system. We let Ron Rivera, our new ownership came in and said, we're going to let you have the year. They may not like it. Fans are going to hate it. We're going to give you the full year. We're not going to fire you. It was bad. We lost 8 in a row and win the season after starting 2-0 for the first time in 12 years. I was hyping shit for 2 weeks. That hype died real quick. I had a franchise quarterback for 2 or 3 weeks. That hype died real quick.
Can we talk about that? Yeah, let's, because we dealt with Nikki and the Daniel Jones talk. I recall on that same August night, Sam Howell was the future of the NFL. He didn't have a ceiling.
11 wins.
He was, he was everything. So Rio, it seems like you've changed your mind a little bit about all things Sam Howell. Would you would you like to clarify your opinions?
Absolutely. See, I am a big proponent of as data changes, my opinions do. I'm not going to stand on business with something that data proves to be fucking wrong. I will say I'm wrong about Sam Howell. While he's still 23 years old in his second year, 2 offenses in 2 years, and EB is one of the worst offensive coordinators I've ever seen.
Yo, people knew something.
Sam, not the answer. And I would be patient if he was drafted by the people that are running the team right now. But we're bringing in new people, and I watched you lead the league. You don't get it twisted. He was broken by the coaching staff. He was definitely broken by them. But he did not help himself down the stretch. He put together a Trevor Siemian stretch of games, 7 straight bad games. Like after the Seattle game in November, I was ready to crowned him our future. And then he proceeded the next 7 weeks to let me down more and more and look like we can't put this guy on the NFL field. The sacks, the 50 dropbacks, it's cooked him, and he ended the season as burnt rotisserie chicken. He was completely cooked. He lost all confidence. He got benched twice. The backup comes in, leads 5 straight touchdown drives. Jacoby Brisket comes in and leads 5 touchdown drives. Brissett looked so good that he decided to make himself inactive for the rest of the season so he could keep that film for the next free agent class. Because Ron said, you're starting Jacoby. Jacoby said,
my hand.
That was my favorite Washington moment of the year where they went, you know what? We have to have a change at quarterback, and we're gonna put I'm sorry, not Heineke. I'm sorry. What's his name? Howell on the bench. We're gonna start Jacoby Brisket. And and Brisket literally went, no, thank you.
Yeah. All of a sudden, his hamstring is falling off the bone like Brisket, and all of a sudden he can't play. No, the fuck, I'm not starting. I'm good.
No, thank you.
Against San Francisco and Dallas to end the season. No, you're good.
That's a hard pass, dog.
Let the kid have it, though. Let the kid have it. I'm not interested. It's crazy. He scored 5 touchdowns in 6 possessions when he came in relief for Howell. We were getting dogged by the Rams. He comes in and cuts it to 1 possession. He comes in touchdown. We're back in the game. The Jets almost ruined the 2nd overall pick for us because they were beating us 30-7, and Brissett comes in, touchdown, takes the lead, and then we Washington it up because we had to, and Greg the Leg Zuerlein saved our season, got us the 2nd overall pick, and we go into the 2024 offseason free of Ron Rivera, free of Dan Snyder, with Adam Peters, a highly sought after executive. We have a head coach coming in the next 48 hours. It's going to be Ben Johnson or Mike McDonald. I think it's going to be Ben Johnson. I think that's a foregone conclusion. They're trying to build some hype and some suspense around it, with Seattle needing to fill their role as well. I think that's where Mike McDonald goes, but all things are pointing north for Washington. The future is looking brighter than it's ever looked. We got about $90 million in cap space. We have the 2nd overall pick, 5 top 100 picks, 6 in the top 107. The future's looking bright. Now roast me. Okay, say what the fuck y'all got to say.
Well, I just have one question. Given the choice, Sam Howell or Taylor Heineke?
I'm taking Sam because he has an arm. I'm taking Sam because he has an arm. Sam has the fucking awareness of a sloth, though. Like, he has I see why he fell to the 5th round now. He has a slow motion processing clock. Wink Martindale and Nikki's team, they took his spirit. They stole his joy.
We did. We just, like Ursula on The Little Mermaid, we just sucked it right out of you. Just.
Oh, my God.
Sucked it right out of you.
Something about the state of New York and Sam Howell. The Giants both times, the Bills and the Jets absolutely took that boy's spirit. I don't know what type of life-triggering core memory he has that happened in New York, but that state owns him. DMV, Nikki, talk to me about my team because y'all looking at me funny like,
because it's just you're so hyped for this, and yet you guys miss on your draft picks all the fucking
but we've never had this before. We've never had this setup before.
They're going to draft Drake May and get.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. They're going to draft Drake May.
Sam Howell's backup. Backup to be the friend.
So, but how are we comparing? How are we comparing Washington's setup to life with Dan Snyder?
No, but what I'll tell you this though, Rio, because we had a debate about this earlier where I was just like, bro, if Ben Johnson goes to Seattle, they could definitely sell him a dream that he might not want to come to Washington for.
They can sell him a quick
Uh-huh.
fix, but it's going to be faux. You're going to go to Shanahan and McVay's division? What's he going to do there?
I'm saying he got talent. He got talent, and he got an organization that can get him some players, that can get him the players that he wants. You know
And
what
they're
I'm
never
saying?
going to beat McVay and Shanahan.
You don't know that.
Our division sucks. Like, our division has a good team one year, and then it's all trash the next year. No one repeats here.
But it's Washington, bro.
I know, but it's not the same. We can't. But it's Washington no more because we're not owned by an idiot.
Yeah, but you still have the same stadium as of right now.
For now.
You still have.
For now.
You literally spent this entire season getting rid of your defensive playmakers that you had spent.
No. We got rid of one defensive playmaker.
A pretty big one.
Yeah, Sweat's good. We got a second for him, though. We'll be all right.
But remember, I know we all have different views on what Chase Young is now, but he was the anointed one. So the loyalty piece isn't there. So you're not getting big name free agents at least for a couple of years. So you have to hit on the draft. And
we can get free agents now. We can get free agents here. Adam Peters can get free agents to Washington.
You don't think that's a tough sell?
No, it's not a tough sell because we can offer money. We can offer money in but
to play on that stadium, which is known to cripple a player.
I mean,
that's like getting free agents to go to MetLife.
MetLife took that. We passed the torch to MetLife, but we can sell players on this.
You tried passing the torch, but you both tripped.
I gotta tell you something, bro. You know how long Cleveland has been like doing the same thing that you're talking about right now, trying to sell people on having a whole bunch of money. We got the number 2 pick. We got this and we got that.
And they've successfully signed players. They've successfully signed players over there.
Where? In free agency?
And Cleveland,
they've had to build it. I mean,
recently they can sell players on it now.
Now. But and when they first started, they've had to do that second round pick, $90 million of money to spend and all that. They've done that. They've been doing that almost as long as I've been alive.
If nobody wants to come here, why did Washington get the number 1 executive available this offseason, and we're about to get the number 1 head coach?
Because they're trying to change the narrative. I think the point that we're all making is that
I'm saying like, why could we get those things done if
to try to attempt to attract?
Right. We are viewed as either the top or the second best destination this offseason. It was the Chargers and us.
But again, I think as far as executives go, you look at the Chargers already have stud wide receiver, stud quarterback. They've got a stud or 2 defensive player. Like they've already got the roster kind of built. They just had the wrong coach. The reason why the Washington job for a GM was more enjoyable is because you get to build it from scratch.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get to be the guy that built the Washington Commanders. But again, the problem is that this is just a team that has been, I don't want to say bad for so long, but they've been inept for so long. They've put out a bad product for so long that it's going to take time to rebuild it.
For sure. And
it did start from the top. I'm not disagreeing with you at all, but you don't just fix it overnight. In Dallas, if Dallas wants to get rid of Jerry Jones, it's not the next year going to be better just because they get rid of Jerry Jones.
And who wants it to be better this year? I want us to build something. I don't want no quick fix. Like everybody sees what the Colts and Texans did. That's nice. That's lovely. That's beautiful. That's unicorn shit. You don't just go from the second pick of the draft to the playoffs and win a playoff games in your first year. I don't want that. I don't want us building like we got to check every box this offseason. We got to fill every hole. We got to sign all the free agents. No, I want us to get the right GM. I want us to get the right coach, and I want us to be in lockstep with the decision we make on the quarterback. I don't want anybody. We've had quarterbacks here where the front office wanted them, but the coaching staff didn't want them, or the coaching staff wanted them and the front office didn't. If we're on the same page, that's the beginning of something I've never seen here.
Right. I think that
Shanahan wanted no part of drafting Robert Griffin. He said, I want Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, or Russell Wilson. And Snyder said, we're trading up to 2 and we're drafting the Heisman.
So much so that they then got Kirk Cousins in the same draft.
Yeah.
Yep. He did it just despite the owner. Dan was pissed. Dan was mad as hell. He said, I'm drafting the quarterback I want in the later round, and we're going to see how this plays out. And it turns out Kirk Cousins has made like $300 million in his career, and Robert's been on TV for like the last decade. And it's
on Twitter, by the way. He's pretty good on Twitter.
He's a pretty good, entertaining guy. He's so fucking corny though. Like Rob Parker, I owe you an apology for when you called him.
He was always corny. He was right when he said that.
Yeah, I was so in love with the idea of Robert. That 2012 season is the highlight of my life because we've never won shit in my lifetime. I didn't want to see the signs. He clearly was corny. He clearly couldn't process and read defense. And if it wasn't for the rinky-dink college offense Kyle Shanahan drew up for him, we would have been ass with him in 2012.
But time out, though. That sounds like somebody else similar, though. Because we got somebody else in the division that says powerful quotes, and they're kind of corny, too.
Oh, we're talking about Mr. Poetry?
Yeah.
Talking about Mr. Poetry, champagne poetry himself, Mr. Jalen, Mr. Handsome.
Listen, he doesn't give anybody bulletin board material. I'll tell you that, and that's what good flowers are supposed to do. You know, we put them in their pot, and then they. I mean, that was the thing from Sirianni's quote the one time he hit the. I watched the state of the Eagles press conference with Sirianni and Howie, and they literally said absolutely nothing. They said absolutely nothing. When all we wanted were answers as Eagles fans, they said absolutely nothing for an hour.
That's what they do, of course. We're not going to get anything.
That's exactly.
You got to read between the lines.
All right, so we're going to close out this one. I know we got to run. Everybody, give me one declaration, proclamation, or bold prediction of your team for this off season coming up in 2024. What's something big we can expect or something that can happen for your team? Let's start with Chip. Give me something big y'all can do this off season.
The biggest thing that we can do this off season is cut some of the aging talent and actually commit to the run game. I think that Swift did enough to get a second look. And I think that a guy like Bradbury needs to go. And then with that being said, I'm really excited for Kelsey to be back for one more year.
Jason Kelsey coming back for one more year.
One more.
DMV, Dallas, give me something big.
I'm expecting a holdout. CeeDee Lamb. I'm expecting a holdout. Especially with the whole mom thing happening. You know, Dallas don't like to sign nobody like that. You know, they always make negotiations muddy. It's going to be muddy, especially with that last game that just happened. I'm expecting the CeeDee Lamb ugly situation. That's where I'm at.
Nikki, what's something y'all can do up there in East Rutherford, New Jersey this year?
Oh, gosh.
Change the turf.
Get a new stadium. They did change the turf last season. Didn't go so well. Aside from the quarterback situation, I don't think Saquon's going to be here. And with our luck, he'll go to a division rival.
You gonna see him in Dallas?
That seemed very negative. Like she didn't even give me something big the Giants could do. Something they're gonna lose this year. Okay.
Well, it's the biggest thing here. It's the quarterback is everything that I it's all I hear about. And Saquon. So it is the two biggest storylines here in New York. So I don't think he's gonna be here.
Yep, and to close out the big declarations, I'm going to close it out by saying something. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I want to put this energy out in the air because I want it, I need it, and there's no better way to solidify everything new in Washington than finding a way to get Caleb Williams on this roster in 2024. I want.
Hey, bro, you were talking trash about Caleb. Now you want him.
I was talking trash about Caleb. I've never talked trash.
I thought you said you didn't like the reports or something.
I never said I didn't like Caleb Williams. I love Caleb Williams.
I think that as far, look, Rio.
No. Well, before we keep going with this, I am a huge fan of Caleb Williams, and I don't care about arrogance from the quarterback position. But I honestly think most people are missing the mark. I know people that know Caleb Williams. He's not Johnny Manziel. He's not Rodgers. He's not any of that. He's actually like a chill ass light skinned kid that does young light skinned shit. And he's rich. Like he's just nothing.
I just got from watching tape, like doing a draft eval. I was watching the Notre Dame linebacker, and I just found myself watching Caleb Williams. Like, I'm supposed to be watching this damn linebacker for Notre Dame.
He's filthy.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous. And his aura is too big for Chicago. I don't want him in Chicago. They're a blue-collar town. Draft Drake May, goddammit.
Drake May is not the number one pick. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, my God. They can trade back and take him at 2.
I'll tell you what. Rio, your knowledge with all things football is exceptional, but when it comes to evaluating quarterback talent, you told me that Carson Wentz was going to be the savior of your team. You
Oh,
told me that
God.
Sam
Please,
Howell
no.
was going to be the quarterback
That's
savior of
He had
your
his
team.
moments. He had his moments.
He told me that Taylor Heineke.
Oh, I never told. I never. Fuck Taylor.
Nah, yeah,
Y'all
he
know
hated
damn well I
Taylor
hated Taylor.
No,
Heineke.
no.
I fucking hated Taylor.
I'm just saying, I think that
Don't tell this fan base.
I
that.
really like the idea of Caleb Williams wherever he goes, and I think he's a nice kid. I'm just worried that mentally, like watching how he kind of fell apart this season when he was the front runner for the Heisman, and watching how, like, I don't know. I think that I'm curious to see how he does with the whole pre-draft process.
I think he's gonna
Before he's drafted number 1 by the Chicago Bears, because everyone's drafting the quarterback
he's
number
going
1,
to
right?
Chicago. Yeah, he's not coming to watch.
Right.
It's a pipe dream. That's why I'm throwing it out there as a pipe dream. Caleb's worst asset is that he has a pageant father. He has a LeVar Ball type father that does a lot of this. He does a lot of all these things.
Why are these parents so involved? Like, do you see Odell Beckham's dad last night? Like,
Yo.
why?
I don't know if it was a real tweet or not, but yeah,
That was a fake tweet.
Are doing
I think
a
that was
lot.
fake.
Like,
Okay, because whoa.
Was it fake?
everything
Yeah, it
we've
was fake.
heard about Caleb leading up to this, none of it was said by Caleb. It was his father in interviews. It was his father in like a GQ, a Sports Illustrated. It's all his father. His father saying a lot of things. Caleb, man, he don't have to play for the team that drafted him. Caleb could want ownership. Caleb didn't say any of these things. It is Caleb Williams' father taking it. Sometimes your dad need to shut up. RG3's father sat with him and told our coaches we can't run the zone read anymore after his injury.
Right, but that's
know.
some of the, we see that a lot in sports, and I think all of our teams have seen it where, you know, again, Philadelphia, so Flyers fans, where Eric Lindros's parents were involved. You know, you see it with Donovan McNabb's mom. You see it with you see it all the time.
Archie
where
Manning.
sometimes it's just easier to not draft the player because of the baggage that comes with the player.
Sometimes that talent is just like, if you turn on that Caleb Williams tape, I don't want to talk about Jaden Daniels or Drake May when I watch Caleb. He's on a different level of both of them.
But Drake May is going to be your quarterback pick.
And I'm cool with it.
Too, bro. You think so too.
I'm cool, and I'm cool with that. I think Ben Johnson and Drake May are going to do very well here.
Yeah. If it's Ben Johnson, it seems like Drake May might be more of the guy than Caleb. You know,
he can be his golf, but with legs, because Drake May is going to run a 4.6, and Drake May ran for 800 yards. He's a big mobile motherfucker. So if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. Just don't give me a Knicks, don't get me a Penix. I need one of the top 3 guys. Wish it could be Caleb. It's not going to be Caleb. He's going to be a Chicago Bear. Who gets Fields? Who do y'all think gets Justin Fields?
Chicago.
Yeah, they may duke it out for a while.
So the first overall pick in Fields.
I don't think they draft a quarterback. They might get somebody else who might want a quarterback, who might want to jump in front of y'all to
sneak up to the Chicago spot.
It's gonna be fucking Atlanta jumping up from like 8.
Well, Atlanta would be dumb because you just spent an early draft pick on Desmond Ridder. You got to see where that plays out, but you have a new coach down there too.
He's cooked.
Desmond Ridder is atrocious.
He's a Jiffy Lube manager. He's the manager of a town. Jiffy. He looked like he give a mean oil change, full synthetic.
and then Taylor Heineke drives the car out.
Oh my God, they look like they would run a franchise of Jiffy Lubes together. Neither looks like an NFL quarterback. Neither plays like an NFL quarterback. Last thing before we go, who wins the Super Bowl?
Who cares?
No one cares. Nobody wanted this fucking Super Bowl, man.
Y'all talked about fathers. Pat Mahomes has the realest father.
His father's so fucking
talking shit. I love his father.
He's smoking that Lamar special blend. That Joe Burrow.
They smoking that pack.
Last night I was watching Mahomes baseball highlights from when he was a Met. Because Mahomes pitched for the Mets.
Yeah, hell yeah. He does not have the demeanor that he was a baseball player.
No.
But all right, that'll wrap it up for this one.
Chiefs are gonna win. There you go.
I got the Chiefs too. Chiefs by 3.
There you go.
Chiefs by 3. Any opinion, guys?
Nah, I'll be there. Blonde Blitz will be covering Super Bowl week. This is not the Super Bowl I wanted, but
I'm excited for Usher.
Hell yeah, I want to see who he brings out. You know, I'm gonna take all the prop bets on unnecessary shit like first song.
How about hot take? I don't actually really like the Super Bowl. I think it's for celebrities and there's too much fanfare. I don't give a shit about the halftime show. Like, I just want to watch the game. I don't care about the commercials.
Why do you not like anything good in life?
Like anything,
because it's
This is why we can't have nice things.
It's geared towards celebrities and it's geared towards the casual fan. And I hate social media people are like the first game they ever watched in their life.
It's like the most watched event in the world.
I understand that, but I think if you're a real like diehard fan, you got a podcast about football, you talk about it all year. It's such fluff. It's like I don't care about it. I actually don't really like
I will tell you, having been in the Super Bowl last year. And the one most recently out of all you guys before that, it just putting it out there, it is very difficult to enjoy Super Bowl Sunday when your team is in the Super Bowl. So I will concede that point.
Oh fuck!
I just
because it is stressful as hell.
Raise my stress levels, fucking all.
No, I was 9 years old the last time.
It's fanfare. It's
did
for
you
the
still have
fan.
the antennas on your TV? Like
it's for the Swifties now.
You had to use the VCR to watch it though. Like that's funny.
Are you serious? Like you guys really love the Super Bowl? I could give two fucks whoever the halftime show. Who care? I don't care about the Doritos commercial. I don't even eat Doritos.
I'm with you though, Nikki. I don't care about the commercials and stuff either.
The commercials aren't good anymore, so I don't care about the commercials. But I love the whole spectacle that is all of it.
And it takes I don't need it to go on the whole day. Like let's just start the game. I can't, especially
I like to make prop bets about stupid shit on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm betting how long the national anthem takes. I'm betting on what the first track the performer is going to perform, all types of dumb shit. I'm here for. We're going to enjoy it. Everybody enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. This is going to conclude the NFC East Roundtable from the couch. Let the people know where to find y'all. We can get out of here.
Is there an order you would like?
No, you go ahead and jump out there. It don't matter. Jump out there.
First, you guys can find me on Twitter, DMV Fanatic 1, on YouTube, DMV Fanatic, on Instagram. I think it's the real DMV Fanatic. So yeah, everybody, you can find me there. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the panel.
Chip.
I'm on Chip for the Birds on the Twitter sphere or the X, whatever it's called. I'm one of the co-hosts of the AAT Birds, All About the Birds podcast. And I'm all over the other interwebs too. So there you go.
Absolutely. And to finish us off, Miss Nikki Nick.
You guys can find me at Nikki Nick 9384, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can find us on YouTube, The Blonde Blitz, Wednesdays at 8:00, Thunder and Lightning, Mondays at 9, all things Giants.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for pulling up in the chat.
I like Gus Bus's last comment because you bet your eyes away, hence the glasses. You're looking like Ray Charles predicting the Commanders next season.
Every time, man. But y'all know how we do. Thank y'all for pulling up tonight. We're going to do this again soon. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We out.
Go Birds.